The other thing they say is that as people get more affluent, they have less children, and the population decreases as the world's economy evens out. And so that we reach like a point where we can maintain a sustainable population.
How does that still happen without mass genocide or mass sterilization?
That's a good question. I don't think they're saying that. I think what they're saying is that as people become more educated and more affluent and more successful, as more urbanization takes place, people work more and have less children. And when they have less children, the population actually slightly decreases. I've heard this argument, but I don't know it.
Fuck more. People who fuck more have more children. Like that just that's one of those stats where I'm gonna be like, they might just be talking about a particular class of people. There's still 7 billion people.
Yeah, there's still 7 billion people
who live mostly for under 22,000 a year.
Yeah,
and it usually every time development comes, it exploits them.
Yes.
So like, where does the balance out of influence coming? Like, I know there's one country now that's doing a universal pay for people. So are we going to talk about going because when you go to does that happen? Is that it? We go to universal pay?
Well, universal pay would be fine if it was universal effort. If everybody did put out the same amount of effort, I would agree with everyone getting the same amount of pay.
No, I'm not saying I'm for or against that. I'm just saying, how do you maintain? How does it happen that everybody all of a sudden is affluent without mass genocide or sterilization?
Well, I think the idea is that as listen, this is not my theory for sure, but I've read it. The idea is as the world becomes more urbanized and more educated and more wealthy, as cities spread out, what happens is less of those people have kids, and they have less kids. This is just
that doesn't work.
I don't know if it works or not, but I know that this is an actual study. Right? See if you can find that.
People are vain as fuck.
Some people are. Yeah.
Most people are.
But the overall humans, once people have serious careers, like the man and the woman have a serious career, both of them are like really invested in their career, they generally tend to have less kids. And when this is the idea is that as this people, I don't think it's a solution. I don't think it's a good solution.
Yeah,
make people become obsessed with work.
That's one of those things where, but the rest of the world's just not. That sounds like I'm still talking about America. Like poor people are fucking, man.
Yes.
So again, it just goes back to me. Like, I hear those studies, Joe, but you got to say to yourself, how do you handle the other 4 billion people?
I think the argument is, and this is not my argument.
Where do they go?
They keep expanding. Is that these cities and these urban areas that as the society sort of evens out globally, whether it takes 1,000 years or 100 years, as things start to even out, people will be more like Los Angeles and less like poor places like Calcutta.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, poor place in Calcutta, you got a bunch of people walking, it's bumped in, it's noisy. It could be, but Los Angeles, you got smog, you got traffic, you got stretching. Like, there's those are two different extremes that just seem weird. Like, I'm just saying, sometimes I just feel like maybe we're at the point, it ain't no turning around.
We might be.
Yeah, just because we got 7 billion people.
We might be, but we also might not be. And I think it's not a bad time to be optimistic because as people look for better and better solutions.
Yeah. But like, Jacques Fresco in the Venus Project talked about moneyless societies, the radical change of what are political states and things of that nature. Chomsky talks about, essentially all countries essentially now, no matter Western or Eastern, oligarchies and shit. So, like, what's the radical departure from this then that saves it all? In your mind, like, what's the Joe Rogan United Nations speech?
Well, I think people are more aware of the flaws of the system than they ever have been any generation previous.
Okay.
I think when you look at kids from the 70s and the 80s, I don't think they were nearly as educated as to how truly fucked up this country is. But also yet truly amazing in terms of like the history of the world. But has plenty to improve on.
Gotcha.
But probably will. I think people are getting better at life. They're getting better at all the things, and government will come along with it. I think we're going to get better at things. We understand each other better. We communicate better. I'm optimistic. And I think with all these incredibly intelligent people that are looking at the problems in the world in terms of carbon in the atmosphere or pollution in the ocean, people are already starting to work on solutions.
I got you.
I'm really optimistic that there's at least the potential for someone to figure out some solutions to some of these problems. Overpopulation is always going to be a weird one because you don't have the right to tell people how many kids they can have.
Yeah.
Because if you meet somebody and he's got 10 kids and the most fucking amazing family ever, what are you going to say? It's bad? They have 10 amazing kids. Everybody's great. You go over the house, it's all love.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why is that bad? You tell so people are good, but only a certain amount.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where it gets weird. Yeah. But it's not a cut and dry issue. It's not a 1 or a 0. It's like, yeah, there are too many people, and yeah, you probably shouldn't have 10 kids, but you got a fucking awesome family. So hey, have a good night, man. I don't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah. You know. I'm just speaking as just as one of the brown people. This scenario just never went well for us. So I'm always, I'm always check it out.